9. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back here at PTM Racing TV live at Sonoma, California, and we welcome you to Sonoma Raceway. I got I'm the Crusader, Christian Schreiber, joining you here for the call tonight as we're down here on the track to see some hard racing, short track battles. It's Road Course Challenge Week for the Spartan Logistics Management LLC iRacing IROC Series drivers, presented in part by Spartan Logistics Management LLC. R&R Racewear, the official web store for all your merchandise needs of iRacing and the IROC series. Loud Pedal Gaming TV, smashing your loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. By SimSpeedShop.com. Track Time Entertainment. And 5-Star Graphics. We are here now to showcase to you some of the best and the brightest of these drivers as they get ready to take it down the stage and take it down a few pegs. Getting ready for the action here on this very historic track in the NASCAR Cup Series divisions, as well as many other divisions out here. This is probably one of my favorite road courses to watch, not only just for the racing, but also in a way to kind of race and actually battle it out on, because really, to me, this track is all about one thing: technical control, consistency, and hitting your marks every which way to Sunday to make sure you hit the best times and can survive the best and the brightest, because this track takes no boundaries and makes no strings when it comes to holding on the line here. Upward hills, downward slopes, and many other tough entry areas to deal with. This will definitely bring out the best and the toughest of all these drivers. Qualifying has been completed, practice now being finished up. Let's get down to business. Our track time entertainment pole setter is Aaron Smith in the number 1. He will be the number 1 man out of the gate, while Brian McCain will take second though in that number 3. Row number 2, Kevin McCann is in the 33 tonight. Is outside Neil Quick in the 2. Row 3 sees Chris Mefford in the number 46 is outside. Kyle Pengraff from the 14. Row number 4 is Troy Radford in the 94 is outside David Trumbley in the 96. Row number 5 is Tim Schofield in 12 is outside Brian Rose, the 89. Row number 6, Chris Wally in the 5 is outside. That will be Cody Harger in the number 66. Row number 7 is going to be Cook Quick in the 54 is outside Mike Harper in the 4. Row number 8, Doug Wysocki in the 34 is outside Jeff Napier in the 40. Row number 9, Hunter Clark in the 18 is outside Dakota Clark in the 38. Row 10 sees David E. Brown. The 7 is outside Ray Radford in the 47. Final starters, Vincent Short, the 15, and Matt Kopp in the 22 slot. Well, race fans, we're ready for this one, and we're ready to get down to business here. Trying to get these drivers settled up on in and get ready to feel this one down across the track. Road map engaged, sponsors up top, and the cars ready to duke it on out. Debbie Rose coming on board. She's saying, "Go Brian Rose, number 89." We've already some love for the Rose family tonight. Brian definitely going to be one of those guys to keep your eye on throughout this race, throughout this event here. He's been one of the top tier guys that's been hanging in that mid-pack to the top 10-ish, but he has yet to get a victory here on the show. Will he be able to get it here at Sonoma? That's definitely a tall order, though, because really there's one guy to keep your eye out on. It is definitely Smith and the McCanns. Because the thing is, Brian McCann, last time he was on a road course, I believe, was back at COTA, the Circuit of the Americas. And there in the truck series, he gave everyone a run for their money and challenged the best and the toughest and did not lay out for nobody. Kevin McCann, much of the same there. But the thing is, right now, your points leader, Neil Quick, in the overall points scenario here has been pretty much locked and loaded since the beginning of the season, and since really adapting on the fly to these cars and adapting on the end going for everything else he's been working on. This guy might be the driver to really keep your eye on, to keep your tail end with, because he's going to be pretty much the one to keep pushing the limits and then some. The field will bring him down the 12 corners here. Into the final 12th corner. Everyone ready to reel him on in and fire him on by. Alpha turn number 12. This time around, we fire him to the green. Pit car in road, and now it's time to set the tone and set the pace. No more pace car, no more nothing. Get the green flag out. Let's go racing at Sonoma. Diving him on deep in, right off the first set of corners here. Stage brakes at 25 and 35 will set the tone tonight. 25 and 40, excuse me. That will set the tone in for these drivers. Brian McCann out of the gate trying to get a run on Aaron Smith. Smith, though, was able to charge up ahead, get away from him there early on. We'll see if that comes back to haunt McCann there a little bit as he looks to rocking him on forward. Oh, there's a little bit of problems down there for one of our drivers, Hunter Clark. He's already gone for a dip in the sand. And unfortunately, around here, you don't want to play in the sandbox there, my friend. Well, trouble's already for the number 18. Let's go back to the PTM Instant Replay, presented in part by Sim Speed Shop tonight. You can see him just kind of burrowing through the S corners in this little tight end right here. This is a very tricky spot to get around. If you even so as touch that sand, you're so far up the ground that really there is no grip for these things. You're just going straight in for a ride, and that's exactly what happened. Hunter definitely going to have his hands full to bring back the field momentum here as the guy he got touched in a little bit there. David E. Brown has a little tussle, little fight off here with the 5 of Chris Wally. Wally struggling through corner number 12. Open the door up for David E. Brown, and Brown now literally hammering the gas pedal down a few nigs and a few notches here. Now looking to try to take Cody Harger on here a little bit. Harger trying to hold him back, trying to hold him down in the field. Mike Harper, the number 4, trying to get something going here on Wally. As Napier's got problems. He's got a lot of problems. He's swinging it down in the third as well. The sand pits opened up tonight on these drivers, and it's full open season on all of them. And really, again, with these cars and the way these designs are set up, man, these things are going to be extremely difficult to work around all day long. And really the matter of the fact is, it's just you're having to literally trying to find a way to muscle the corners and muscle the turns, while also trying to keep these things online and in check so you don't go losing too much. That's the problem with these road courses, is you're always looking for another way around, another way to build up speed. Also, it wasn't kind of obvious here, the lap counter tonight is at 50, so 3 out of 50 is now up on the scoreboard, or at least it should have been. Hey, there it is. There we go. We got it fixed now. Smith with the early lead. Let's go on board with him. Well, you can just hear kind of in his throttle rhythm and his control of the car right now. He's pretty much locked and loaded in those turns. He's hitting his braking points just right, getting off the gas and on the gas just at the right time, and that's exactly what he's after. Kevin McCann, the number 33, making a little bit of a return here. Unfortunately, though, there will be a little bit of bad news for the fans of the Kevin McCann side of things, and this Kevin McCann Gaming 33. He sadly is out of the the contentions for a possible all-star race possibility, but in the playoffs wise may have a slight chance if he can get in with a few good races here. But overall, this season to him has not been the season that Brian McCann has been showing him around the track. I think a lot of that has to do with just the overall pacing and control that these cars originally had on display and on the field. Things have definitely changed here for, in my opinion, the better, but at the same time, there's still a lot to work on with these cars, if I had to say so. And again, that was kind of obvious. My problem is just still with that steering, man. I know iRacing's got a 1-for-1 ratio on how they set this car up to be like that, but I'm not going to get over it. It really does drive me insane knowing that the steering is 1-to-1, but if that's how they're supposed to feel, then I don't even know how the heck the normal NASCAR drivers can hold these things online when they spin. And some of them really can't either. We've seen them get loose and they just lose in the turn, so. But here on a road course, this is kind of honestly the driving style that these Gen 7s needed. They needed the kind of a road course, the short tracks as well, to work with and really put something up to the brigade. This is exactly really what we wanted to see and what we wanted to bring to the table, and this is exactly where we're going to get. Eddie Rose saying, HBR boys, go and be hollering tonight. Well, right now they are certainly trying to holler up a few spots here as Mr. Brian Rose, the top dog of the HBR crew, currently keeping down the track here with Kyle Pengraff right behind him. Pengraff trying to get some momentum burrowing through here as I guess as he rocks some tie-dye tonight. I guess he was in the California mood tonight. I mean, I know the skies are bright and all that and sunny up here in Sonoma, but I didn't realize that here of all things today he would be driving with some tie-dye on, of all things. I guess maybe he's thinking it's the 1980s still in California and it's just time to go ahead and get into the cool hip thing, man. Well, you can see how much that car just lifts off the ground, how much kind of bumps around, bumps out of here. This is one of those things. You as a driver, you wouldn't think too much about it because you're literally feeling it going around the corners, but as a fan's perspective, it's kind of crazy just to see how much airtime these things actually lift up off the ground and go around from there. Michael Fraz Rose coming on board saying, go 89 to Brian. Yep. He's hanging on right now, but I don't know how much longer. Pengraff is catching him, and so is now David E. Brown into the mix. Out of the frying pan and into the flames he comes. David D. Brown is literally 11 spots up. But don't lose hope, HPR fans. They got Vincent Short in the 15. He is currently 11 spots up, and he's in 10th, right behind Schofield and David E. Brown. Dakota Clark already a lap down here. And Mike Harper, Troy Radford, Ray Radford also much the same. The McCann boys and Smith have already passed them on by. That's kind of crazy to see. Here's another thing that's crazy to see is early drivers just trying to fight it through that corner there off turn number 12. That complete 180 turn is certainly, in my opinion, one of the toughest turns to really just master and get full control of. And it looked like for Kyle Pengraff, He found that out the very, very hard way. Let's take a look at the replay here and what led up to this action sequence. This to me is an equalizer. You know how Martinsville looks and how it's half a mile of banked in track? Well, this is pretty much what turn 12 is. It's just one of the turns at Martinsville. Just think that for a minute. Here's Brown. Look at him. 14 of Pengraph. He opened the door up, got into the slicks of the sand. Look at Brown, though, man. Just snuck it right on the inside there on his right-hand corner. Got the 14 to have to kind of sway off a little bit. And because 7 had the better run up because he was in the outside end, he was able to charge it through just enough. Pengraph having to back off. And lost that position in as now Brown is actually taking over Brian Rose's spot as well. So now everyone is kind of in a hot charge and a hot brigade here. Huge battle going on. Pengraph still not done around here though. Oh, but he clips the corner off the curb there now. Oh my, he caught a whole thing in that clip of that corner there. I believe that was turn number 10 he caught there, leading into turn 11 and 12. How he was able to keep that thing on line beats me, but hey, he held on. Some pretty solid stuff so far. Aaron Smith just, well, at this point he's just doing Aaron Smith things. He's really just flaunted this entire field and just driving this track in like it's nothing. The 22 Matt Kopp here, he already knows what's coming next. We knew Smith was going to be fast, but I didn't realize with this 670 horsepower package add-on he was going to be this fast. That is wild beyond belief. That's pure unadulterated horsepower, by the way. That's just him driving the track. Oh! And speaking of driving the track down here, a little problems. Down, I believe this is corner number 6, I believe. We got for corner 5, I believe, somewhere around there. There is huge problems right now. The 89 of Brian Rose damaged badly on the front end. Suffered tremendous damage here. Something gone wrong. We'll take a look at the PTM Instant replay presented by Sim Speed Shop. I swear I'm just giving this guy all sorts of bad luck. I talk good things about him. Next thing I know, I end up just giving him the old broadcaster curse. And looks like Pengraph actually was the one that kind of started that up there. Looks like Pengraph kind of come off the corner there in turn 5 or 6, whichever one it is. Lost in the turn and unfortunately got everyone all situated and backed out in between. We'll take a look at his onboard camera here from the rear view. Yeah, you can see right there, he just got it right onto the binders there off the curb. And unfortunately, there really is nothing you can do about that. Once that happens, it happens. And looks like more trouble for the 14 out there. Pengraph having all sorts of problems trying to keep this thing online. Okay, well, ooh, there's some wild stuff going on right now on the show here as we are still hot on the charts. Smith is your leader, and Kevin McCann now getting farther away from his family member Brian McCann. It is good to see Kevin back onto the show and really trying to build some momentum up on these guys and bring something to the table. He hasn't been here for a little bit of a time, and I guarantee you that's been bugging him quite a bit here. So it is good to see him kind of doing something with it. Right now, a big battle going on between the 96, that being number David Trumbley, and the 5, Chris Wally, as Wally, I think didn't exactly want to go anywhere near those rumble strips there, so he ends up just driving a little harder through the corner. Opens the door wide, though, and he gives Trumbley the race spot away. Takes over the 11th. Well, race fans, time to put on the headphones, time to put on the charge. Let's crank it up a little notch or two. Let's get it down with the drivers. Looks like some trouble's down here real quick here for Doug Wysocki and then number 34 and Matt Kopp as well. And the number 22, both drivers look like they come to a bit of a dead stop here on the corner ends of the back half. Let's take a look at the PTM replay once again, see what exactly transpired here. Looked like turn 12 just kind of caught both of them off guard here once again. This is the turn that's going to give everybody fits tonight, I guarantee you. Take a look at this one more time, see if we can get a good camera angle here. And looks like both drivers kind of just completely losing it in the turn. You saw literally, that was the number 46 there. That was Chris Medford just completely charging both of them up and just setting them out down on the track end here. Both drivers having all sorts of problems with turn 12 and then open the door wide for the guys behind now to take full charge of that. By the way, race fans, if you have never seen that crank it up scene there, we just added that on. By the way, we've got a couple of them we're working on. One of them you already seen on the pedal and metal side as well as Champion Power Equipment side. But what'd you think of that new one we came up with? Let us know in the comments section below. Did we get more creative, or can you think of anything else we can do around here? Because we're always finding new things to work on, and that crank it up scene is always one thing we're working hard at. Chris Wally, I talked with him earlier today here in that 5, and you know, one thing that I've been kind of watching out for with him is, well, number one, not trying to jinx him obviously, but another thing is just kind of keeping an eye on how he's been cornering into these turns, high corners himself on these kind of tracks and these kind of levels, because it almost to me seems like he has a bit of an issue with kind of starting to finishing. He's a good starter, but his finishing sometimes either results in bad luck or just a bad circumstance. However, since we added this new 670 horsepower package in these next gens, it has even the playing field out a little bit. It has kind of made things a little more interesting. So, who knows if that does actually come to work with the spots in his intuition. But nevertheless, that 5 certainly has a lot to prove and a lot of work on around these parts of town. By the way, the leaders are already just lapping up most of the field. They already hit top 10, top 12. They're literally getting ahead of everybody here. Wally backs off, lets McCann by. He doesn't want nothing to do with him. I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. A guy like Ryan McCann running around here, he's always going to put on a fight. Nicholas Kern saying, my kind of race. Yes, sir. Good to have you on board, Mr. Kern. Everybody's still trying to find oppositions, trying to find openings when they can here. Quick still having some troubles down there. You saw him literally as we were just about to turn the camera over. Got into the sandy plains there of Sonoma. Thankfully got it squared away and got it taken care of here. Doug Wysocki, Matt Kopp, after a little hiccup they had in turn number 12, seems to be out giving the run to Matt Kopp here in the 22 as he brings out that old school Coca-Cola style scheme just with the little bit of a Spartan layout to it. Obviously, this is the iRacing IROC series drivers, so had to kind of throw in most of their looks and most of their stuff to begin with. That was for sure. Coming down to the ends, though, right now, the number 46, Chris Medford, the MFer himself, looking to try and see if maybe he has something for the boys up ahead of him. He's been known to be kind of feisty. He'll kind of lay back for a while. He'll kind of study the stages. Then he'll just kind of lay it loose in the final stage. And honestly, it may be kind of to some folks' regards, like a little bit of a clear-cut situation move. But, I mean, if you ask me, I think it's a brilliant strategy. It really does kind of show the advantages you can get from kind of doing that mindset and that driving style. Yeah, with all that damage on that 89, by the way, of Brian Rose, I'm surprised that thing's still running much as he's still going. It is suffering right now. Got kind of kicked up there in turn 5 on that 90-degree end turn. Got smacked up by Pengraph, unfortunately. Car has not been the same since. And he's fighting some serious demons right now just to hold that thing online. Vincent Troy right now going to get caught up there by Kevin McCann. McCann looking to make the oppositional pass here. Gets the pass here, working into turn number 12. Now Vincent kind of being very, very close attention to make sure he doesn't overdrive his turn here. Thankfully does not. Unfortunately though, does lose a lot of momentum from that position. So later today, I will be talking about the points race and all that, and showing you guys like where we're at currently at the moment and in between. We'll also be taking a look at our playoff points going in from this after race 11. So right now, currently, as we get further and further into the field here, we got a lot of drivers ready to charge up and ready to fire them on down. Still plenty of time to be had if you're in the mainstay of the series and you're in the main spotlight. Of course, our season will wrap up here in June, on June 2nd, which certainly will be a time or two from now, but definitely makes things a little bit more interesting, a little bit more hard to charge off of. So after race 11 and 15, though, we look at our all-star eligible drivers. Right now, that includes Neil Quick, Kevin McCann, Troy Radford, Aaron Smith, Chris Medford, Brandon Medford, Brian Snare, Brian Rose, Cook Quick, Ryan McCann, Tim Schofield, Cody Harger, Chris Wally, Vincent Short, Kyle Pengraff, Doug Wysocki, Jeff Napier, David Tremblay, and David Brown. They are all right now eligible to be in the running and in the track zone for that, to race it out this season. And I guarantee you, for guys like Kevin McCann, who are already eliminated from the playoffs, I may have mistakenly said that he was ineligible for the All-Star race. I take it back. He's ineligible for the playoffs. He had to race a few races to get in there, but it seems he's not going to be able to make it this season. But the overall scenario there and the overall racing has been quite coherent, quite obvious. Everybody has been out to try to take down the best and the brightest, and sometimes that includes having to race out with some of the toughest guys here. Dakota Clark right now, the number 23, having some problems down there, unfortunately. Seems like he's having a little bit of a tough time dealing around turn 12 as much as he's dealing around turn 5 in this case. Through the S turns, Brian McCann goes, trying to get to Kevin McCann, about 8 seconds ahead of him. And right now, Aaron Smith literally a full 21 seconds ahead of the third spot. But again, reminder that we are under stage racing, and the stage spot will be at lap 25, and then we'll go to lap 40 before our final stage comes up. Whoa, and speaking of comes up, I think right now that 6'6" Cody Harger is probably wishing he could find a place to hide right now, because that 6'6" went straight into the tire barriers there. Man, you want to talk about having all sorts of problems dealing with a turn? Man, this is literally worse than Martinsville sometimes when it comes to that turn. It's the one spot that's going to get the most attention besides turn 5 today, in my opinion. It's going to get drivers all cockeyed and out of place and out of control. And that's exactly what happened to the 66. Watch him just drive it hard at 34. He was trying to make the clear-cut pass. That's kind of a dive bomb scenario. Unfortunately, though, that dive bomb did not go according to plan. Let's take one more look at it from our cockpit view here. This will definitely give you guys a bit of an interesting look at just how much horsepower and RPMs were just riding off on that corner. You can see right there, he just broke way too late. He was trying to make the move, but he just could not get back off the binders there, and then the car took a bit of the brunt and the damage from it. Although thankfully the car I think is okay. I think he just mainly just kind of knocked his head a little loopy, hitting that corner, hitting those tire barriers. He is currently still ahead of Vincent Short here, as currently Doug Wysocki still behind the field and still behind lap traffic, so he's kind of behind the 8 ball, if you will, and everyone looks like everybody that is 10th on back now is pretty much a whole lap down. I really don't know how the heck, or I was down anyone 9th back on in that are a lap down. I don't even know how the heck Aaron Smith, Kevin McCann, and Brian McCann have got the speed they do, because that's just ridiculous to me, man. But they have it, and they've got it dialed up. If this was just an all-around, like, one full-on race, no stages required, I would have said right now that Aaron Smith is pretty much handily going to win this one just because of that sheer speed he's carrying. But Cannot count out the stage breaks, and when these other drivers get clever with their strategy, sometimes they get a little bit more clever than Smith realizes. So he'll have to watch it here as Hunter Clark, more problems down there for the 18 driver. And he's stuck in a bit of a bad omen there. He's trying to get out of that mess. But let's take a look and find out why he was stuck in this mess to begin with. It looks like, well, I guess we just need a replay button for every time I'm going to say this, but you know which turn it is. Just watch what happens. I told you it was going to be this turn. You see the 18 drives it really close to the tires. Thinks he's got a good run off, but the problem is that rear end with that 670 horsepower package, that's not going to do you any good to try to corner it off like that. You got to be really smooth with this car. You've got to be very careful with this car. It is definitely a driver's car. I will give it that. It is very much a driver's car. I'm not a very good driver though with this thing. I'll take a super late model any day of the week. Thank you very much. Well, right now everyone going around the track having a little bit of a time or two. I'd say it's probably about time we bring out the old crank it up, get it back down on the field. Let's lay this one on by just a little bit longer. I gotta love the sound of these bad boys. These things just sound so good when they're railing off on the track. They certainly build up the speed. They certainly build up the momentum. And we've got a battle right now for the top 5. Even though really everyone's trying to aim for that top spot, I think more than anything it's going to be a matter of just trying to get as much points as you can. And right now you're seeing guys going at it left and right. A ham hawk thrown by David E. Brown, the number 7, as he just lays it in and it stretches it on by. He's 14 up right now. Definitely a hard charger of the day. Made a beautiful corner pass there on the number 2, Neil Quick. Neil was not able to hold him back though. Firing him back through the set of corners here, down onto the front straightaway. Or what there is anyway, here as they work their way on down. About 5 laps left to go before a stage break comes into fruition and comes into play here, and that definitely could test a few of these guys here. Gosh, flag is out, it looks like actually, so I do apologize. I think I got it wrong. It was lap 20 and then it's lap 35. So I'm going to say right now that was my fault. That was a mistake on my end there. But Aaron Smith, the number 1, is currently number 1. He's got one season championship title to his name. Can he go ahead and try to repeat it here and win out another set of races? The championship is up for grabs here in the coming weeks to follow. We still got a lot more racing coming your way, though, from Sonoma Raceway. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you in part by our good friends over at Spartan Logistics Management, LLC. By R&R Racewear. By Loud Pedal Gaming TV. We're smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. by SimSpeedShop.com, by Track Time Entertainment, and by 5-Star Graphics. The iRacing IROC Challenge Series would love to have a big thank you to them, as well as from us here at PTM Racing TV. A big thanks to all those that have come forth to help out these crews and these teams and these drivers. And oh yeah, by the way, right now currently looking at the field, 7th on back out of 22 drivers has been lapped. I don't even know what to say to that number one. All I can say is absolute beast mode. That is crazy. Well, while we currently get everyone situated around here, let's go ahead and take a look now at the points race here with the 29 races we have in full score and whole display. We talked about earlier here, the top 16 points advance on to the playoffs round. And here's how we are right now. Currently, Neil Quick with that 553 is currently locked in not only to the playoffs, but he's already completed the 12 of the 15 required regular season races. Brian McCann with a solid 530, and then Chris Mefford at 499. He's also in there. Troy Radford 470. He will be locked in. Cook Quick, Cody Harger. Currently, the two drivers in the top 10 that are not all that high as they are not locked in. They need to complete more races to get in. Although with these last few races left, they shouldn't have no troubles there. Aaron Smith though with a 402, he's locked in, looking to defend his championship. Brian Rose at 372, looking to also get a run off here and get some positions, but he needs to complete a few more races and he will be locked in to race it. And then of course a little bit of tie down there as we got Tim Schofield and currently in 9th and 10th with Vincent Short with 362. Both drivers need a few more races to compete in. Brandon Mefford with 331, Chris Wally at 314. Doug Wysocki at 303, Kyle Pendergraft at 299, David Tremblay 292, and Mike Harper 285. 8th on back are not locked into the championship hunt or the playoff race, if you will. But there are some cutoff line drivers as well as Matt Kopp at 277, David E. Brown at 275, Hunter Clark 226, Dakota Clark 208, and Roy Radford at 202. But now here's the thing with David E. Brown, if you ask me, this is already looking to be kind of his race, his circumstance here, because he is actually in the proverbial driver's seat to possibly get himself a championship hunt if he can finish this one out tonight. Where he's at in position right now, where he's at on the overall run scale, he's currently 5th. He charged 14 spots up on everybody. I mean, I don't think you can tell me that he isn't in the absolute perfect position and scenario to take everybody down and actually win this one out. He's got a fast car and he can definitely get into that top 10, but again, there's so many other tough drivers you got to try to face off with and try to beat out, as currently some folks are still getting into pit road or getting fixed up for this one. Right at the moment anyway, if you're wondering what's going on, a lot of drivers are going to try to wait out as long as they can here on the fuel limits and as well as the tire limit here before they have to get back out of race here. And as long as they don't get lapped in, it doesn't matter about what the pace car does or where they go. They will not be put a lap down. That will help them out tremendously here. And honestly, I think with the fact that Aaron Smith kind of just completely came out there and tore up the crowd, tore up some drivers, man, I don't even know what anyone else be thinking. I say the McCanns haven't done the same. They definitely were doing the same, but Chris Mefford kind of laid low, kind of laid loose. Probably saving his car up just for a little bit longer here. And then, like I said, David E. Brown with his hard-charging antics. He has just been a beast tonight. I think, in all honesty, he may be the guy you got to watch out for and maybe the one you're going to have to keep your close eye on if it comes down to the wire. Although right now, if anyone's going to catch Smith, it's definitely going to have to be either Kevin or Brian McCann on these restarts, because I don't think you're going to catch him on the long run. I think that one is just way too fast and way too good at what he's doing. So, race fans, once again, thank you so much for everyone that's tuned on in with us here today. For all of you drivers out there, if you love what you see and you love what you're hearing, be sure to go ahead and hit that like and follow button here on Facebook. Subscribe on our YouTube at PTM Racing TV, and also for those out there that are new to our show, new to our series here, do hope you'll stick around a little bit longer, and feel free to comment and message us down below. Use the hashtag PTM Racing TV, and use the hashtag term iRacing IROCs, and use hashtag IROC series in this case, and we'll give them some love as well. We're gonna get everyone fielded back down on in and see what comes from next. Alright, pace car coming off down out of turn number 12. We're going to get everyone ready to rail them back up. Rally the troops, rally the drivers. From yellow to green, coming off turn number 12 down to the straightaway here at turn number 13. And it's time to lay down the hardware. Here we go once again. That's still a good chunk of drivers that didn't even get across back to the line here. Most of them were pretty much kind of just taken held hostage there because of the pit road. Everybody on a full brigade, on a full send a charge off here. Everyone moving through the chains, looking for some runs off or two. Problems down there already. Dakota Clark in the 38. He's decided to call this one a night. Can't say that I blame him. He's been struggling all day long. He's had all sorts of problems with these cars in this track here today, so hopefully things get kind of squared away for him come next week. And next week, by the way, folks, we will have an off week, so it actually will be on the 24th, which we're going to go to Phoenix Raceway and the open dog leg track there. So you're going to see a lot of drivers really testing their luck and testing their patience down there. Whoa! Taking and testing some patience down there. One of our drivers going right into the sand pits below. You almost see Pengraf looked like getting completely lost in the shuffle and in the mix. And speaking of getting in the mix here, look at Brown here trying to put a fight to Mefford. Mefford and Brown back fighting it out here through the corners. And this is just an impressive showing here from David Brown. I've not seen a driver like him all day long just doing what kind of runs he's doing today. Oh, and as I say that, he locks the tires up, entering in the top of the hill. That fight there with Mefford ends up costing him a little bit of ground and a little bit of clearance. Neil Quick takes that position over from him. Lost it in the turn. He was driving so hard, I don't think he even realized where he was at until he locked him up too quickly there. What a tough break there for David E. Brown. Now it's going to send him back to the shadow realm and have to try to find his way back into the mountaintops. It's in short right now. The number 15 trying to make a little bit of a a little bit of a head wave here. David Tremblay and him battling for the 9th place position. The 96 trying to make a move off it. This is what the kind of road course racing I like to see. It's not even just being side by side anymore, because if you understand road course racing, trying to go side by side on these kind of tracks is impossible almost. So when you do see it, it's something crazy to see, and it's definitely a sight to behold. As a driver myself, I've had my fair share of road course battles. I've only got one win on a road course to begin with. That was back on the... Oh no! And unfortunately, though, for the Vincent Short, locked the tire up on the front straightaway and cost himself precious time. David Tremblay takes him over to 9th and puts him back in a 10th. As I was just about to say there, my only win I ever got on a road course was back in Road America. Although I've had some good success over in Canadian Tire and Watkins Glen. So, can't really say a fish out of the water here. Really, it's just not quite my style of racing. I've never been a huge fan of trying to drive a road course. I don't think I have anything against it. It's just I've always preferred my ovals and preferred my dirt tracks. Although I will say a dirt road is definitely a lot of fun to mess around with if you know how to drive it. Coming down the wires right now, Chris Wally passed on by Tim Schofield here, the number 12. Usually I would say that's the Miller High Life scheme there. The Miller Light scheme, I believe that is a car that I think it was Bobby Allison drove a little bit here. I think that might be his car. I am horrible with retro paint, so please do not crucify me in the comments section. Although if you want to, you can definitely make some good humor out of it if you like. Can't say that I blame anybody if they did. And for those wondering at home, wait a minute, I thought this was next gen. I thought they were supposed to have like Fords and Toyotas in there as well. Well, yeah, I would have thought so too, but the thing is, because this is pretty much a IROC series challenge and these drivers have pretty much kind of the reigns, the Supremes to deal with, they also are only running a certain set of cars, a certain set out here. So what they do is they pretty much just make it exactly the same kind of setup, same kind of deal. The only thing they change is really the steering offset and a little bit of the brake biases. And that's what makes these race cars and everyone else so difficult and easy and tough to master around with. It's pretty awesome though to me because it really shows who is the better of the drivers and who can really figure out how to run these things into the ground. And I think the Chevrolet Camaro is not a bad idea to really using. Of course, the actual IROC series, I think they use like kind of a Pontiac Grand Am style here. It's quick. And that Dale Earnhardt Sr. scheme, unfortunately, just completely sent onto the corners here. Problems down there for the number 54. As the high tide goes a little bit all over the place here. Let's take a look at the PTM replay and find out what happened here exactly. Lost a lot of ground there and lost a lot of momentum here and sent him back on pack a few times. Looked like he just catches the rumble strips there, and you can see once that rear end just kind of catches up there, man, there's nothing you can do about it. Trying to hold these things online after you start to spin is like trying to stick your finger into a Cheerio. It does not work at all. It only just makes things worse, at least when it comes to braking and crumpling stuff. Still a full second ahead right now. Aaron Smith just ahead of Kevin McCann. Although right now McCann is not exactly a fish out of the water. He is getting up there with Smith. Let's take a look at our lap time zone here. And you can see really, well, that's kind of crazy when you think about it right there. Lap 26 was literally his fastest. And he was still only able to get about a tenth off from Kevin McCann here. But like 116, 117, it's like, dude, this dude is just an absolute beast. That's a scary thought to be had there, folks. When you see someone just driving like that, you're trying to catch them here. The only thing really that changed the position-wise was just pretty much the start of this race when Kevin and Brian McCann just kind of went at it for a little bit. Since then, it's either just been who can get the better of the other and who can get really around the other track. Yeah, you see, Medford got into that sand pit there. He actually kind of got away with it, though. Actually holding his car down on line, keeping it under control because he was able to keep it straight. Whereas if you're turning just a little bit, like I said, that car becomes so much more difficult to save. Kind of makes me wonder what it's going to be like when these guys have to put on the dirt tires here and actually go race down Bristol dirt track. Although if you ask me, they should be joining the truck series and go racing them down in Knoxville. NASCAR, if you hear this, call me. I want to make sure it goes down. Not that it'll ever happen. I highly doubt it actually will happen. But hey, it's a nice thought, isn't it? Anyway. Round through the set of corners, turn number 12 down to turn number 13. And a little bit of trouble down there for Medford. Opens the door for the number 2, Neil Quick. Side by side, they battle it out. And how about that? Medford, the aggression and the aggressive nature of him, he was able to put the two back in his place and put him back in his spot. He says, no, sir, that's not how I play. I'm not giving that spot up for nothing. Goes back one spot up here. He started back in 5th. Currently is in 4th. Neil Quick down one spot. He started 4th, currently in 5th. Oh, and Neil's still struggling to keep off those rumble strips, costing him precious time here. But again, he's still hanging in there, doing a great job, kind of keeping the momentum at large and keeping it in play. Doug Wysocki having a little bit of problems down there, though, unfortunately. And that number 34, that's definitely a tough break for him there. Lap traffic is going to be a bit of a problem here for that number 1 of Aaron Smith here. Kevin McCann able to get around one set of them, but unfortunately for him, now he's got to try to find a way around another one. 40 here, Jeff Napier trying to get out of the way here for that 33. He does indeed, and Smith gains a little bit of ground off that here. Matt Cobb, oh my goodness, folks, they are all over the place here. Some getting sent into the shadow realms of the sand pit, and then some just really can't even keeping these things online. Hunter Clark actually taking over positions from Kopp there. Kopp was lost it down. I believe that was turn number 3 there, turn 4. And opened the door up for the 18 to kind of sneak his way on by and take it over. Rolling up on the final set of laps here before we head down for our stage break. Oh, but a huge wreck ensues right there, and Clark takes Napier. Hunter Clark spins the tires, lost control, and takes the 40 out, unfortunately. Both drivers are hurt, and they are definitely not in a good state here with these cars. Let's take a look at the replay and find out what happened here. This to me looked like just another crucial scenario. Just came right through the end of the turn. And you can see he was gassing it way too hard for what it was worth and just couldn't get it to settle back down. Once he hit that rumble strip, though, it was game over. There's no doubt about that. Let's take a look at the onboard camera here. We'll take 2 looks at the onboard camera here. The first one will be on Clark. Man, listen to just smack that rumble strip, man. I know I give iRacing some grief every now and then, but holy cow. You listen to that rumble strip, and you can just hear that thing. Once he hit that strip, though, you can see the car just completely lost control and lost every ounce of grip it had on the track. And once you lose that grip, it's just impossible to get it back. There's nothing you can do about it. No matter how many times as a driver you race these things out, you cannot get that grip back once you've lost with these cars. See the 18 right there, that's where he lost it. Napier's trying to avoid it, but found himself in a bit of a troublesome spot. Try to get it squared back away and get it up under control, but could not go, could not do it. And remember, they don't got any instant repairs, by the way. These IROC drivers, they're racing in old school. They've got to race with what they brought to the track and what they brought on the circuit. So they messed that up. That's their own fault. They ain't got nothing else they can do about it. You know, quick right now, your points there move back into 4th here. Chris Medford having some problems down there. David E. Brown making his pass on by. Takes over the 5th place spot, trying to move the chains up even more so in the field. Yeah, it's been good racing so far here, and these drivers certainly have been bringing it to the test and bringing it to the limits. As we get ready to settle back down and get them ready for our next stage break, I think it's time we crank it up just a little more. That never gets old. I just love the sound of these things, man. I always said, I love the car, I love the sound, and I love everything else. It's just there's two problems I got. It's that steering and the way it handles. That's my biggest problems I have with this car. Although I think the steering over time will kind of get more smoothened out, if you will. I think NASCAR eventually will kind of smoothen out just enough to where it makes it a lot more drivable. But till then, we have absolutely no idea. Matt Cobb right now, the number 22, currently up on the full brigade, full charge send off, currently hanging up there with David E. Brown as our caution flag flies for the last time before this one ends. Stage break initiated, race fans. And I tell you what, it's been an absolute fight, dogfight, race out from these guys. But now, with only about 10 laps remaining here, when we get, or excuse me, about 13 to 12 laps remaining, I guarantee you now, things are about to pick up. Will business pick up? And can anybody, somehow, someway, find a way to knock down that number one of Aaron Smith? Well, you best stay tuned with us here on PTM Racing TV because there's a whole bunch of hungry drivers ready to challenge that mantra. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you in part by Spartan Logistics Management LLC, by R&R Racewear, the official web store and merchandise site for all your iRacing needs and IROC sound series, by Loud Pedal Gaming TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment, by SimSpeedShop.com, by Track Time Entertainment, and by 5-Star Graphics. A big thank you from all of us here at PTM Racing TV, and a big thank you from the IROC iRacing Challenge Series for your support to their community and their growth in the sport. So top 5, Smith, McCann, Kevin, Brian, McCann, then Neil Quick and David E. Brown. They've all headed into pit road. Chris Mefford staying on out. Damage though on that front end definitely will halter his move and runs just a little bit here with that speed kind of taking a bit of a hit and toll there. That's one thing as a driver that always kind of worries me is when I see damage up on my car like that and kind of hit up bad. So looks like Mefford going to try and get some damage cleaned up, so we can fix up on that one. So field kind of working their way around right now. Currently pace lights are off on the pace car here. Drivers are getting settled back down and into position for this one. 12 laps do remain here for these drivers. So this is pretty much kind of a short and sweet race, and I'm not gonna lie, I love it when it's kind of short and sweet. Makes for some great hard compact racing in there. That's why I really like that class that we saw on Sunday night. They didn't have a long race ahead of them. They had a pretty much a go-getter kind of nature race, and that's the way I like it. Because to me, that's what brings out the best of drivers and brings out the best of everybody. So lights did pop up on the pace car, though. You may have seen that there just for a brief fleeting minute with the lights kind of flickering on and on. They are staying under caution. They want to get everyone kind of wrapped back around. There's still a few drivers that are on the lead lap that can be put back in position here. Looks like Mether found himself a new hood. I don't know where he found that at. I'll give him credit, though. At least he found something to use with. So, field now set to go. Everyone 8th on back, though. Sadly, will be a lap down here in this case. So the whole field that is behind them in this scenario are going to have to work their magic in a little bit and kind of figure things out on the track here. Drivers preparing for the unruly nature and what is about to present themselves. This could get very, very easily. Double filed up. We're ready. Prepare for what's about to come down. Race number 12 about to reach its climactic conclusion, its climactic sequence. Here we go. We're getting ready to fill them down. Now let's run them off. And with the amount of laps left, there is no more losing out on any charges. You need to get it going. You need to get going fast, quickly here. And it looks like David Brown smells blood in the water. Quick's giving him openings in his mind. He's looking to cross him over and take position away. Usually I would say just kind of use the bumper or two if you can, but it looks like Chris Medford's going to try something a little different. Dive bomb down into the turn number 5. And a power move by the number 46, right at the 7 of David Brown. Brown trying to get it back. He does. Crosses him over yet again through the set of corners in 7. Now the 7 charges the field off. Running it down the strips into the runoff he goes. Kevin McCann trying to get something going on him here. Trying to make a move down on the number 1 of Aaron Smith. Nobody has touched the number 1 today. Until possibly now. There's a little bit of tire smoke coming off that 1, breaking it hard in the corner. Lot smoother from the 33. That might be a clear-cut opening here. They don't have very many laps left to work with. 10 remain. Smith better be careful. He better watch himself on these runs because now things are just picking up more as we go. And the crazier it gets, the harder the racing becomes for these drivers. Every single one of them is currently in a battle somewhere. Brian watching his family member Kevin go at it with Smith, while Medford watches on as he tries to get something going at Brown, but unfortunately, he got a little too quick ahead of himself here and lost everything in that turn down that elongated uphill downslope area of Sonoma. And now the 12 at Schofield is looking to try to make aim and take him down a few notches for that. Looking to run him down across the field, down the plains here. Everybody looking for some last-ditch effort. As Air Smith is not exactly running away from that 33 of Kevin McCann. Much better turn there off 12 into 13 down to the straight. But is that going to be enough? Is that enough to hold back the field and hold back the fleet? Remains to be unknown and unchecked here. The rest of our drivers currently just in the hot brigade to keep these things in one piece and in check, if you will. Top 10 right now: Harger, Short, Trumbley, Schofield, Medford, Quick, Brown, McCann, and Smith. And I'm getting some pretty big vibes right now. Some old Watkins Glen races I've seen, and some old original Sonoma races. Just watching this battle right now for the race lead. It may not seem like a battle, but believe me, as a driver, I know what's going on. I can see it. Kevin is literally driving the nuts off this 33. He's trying to get every little nut and bolt tied down and strapped in for this battle here with the 1. And Smith right now being extremely cautious and conservative on each turn, each corner. He's having to keep it as smooth as possible just to make sure he does not give an opening, does not give any chance up. Because if he does, or if Kevin makes one mistake, it could be this guy's turn to take that away from both of them if they ever do so. Trouble down there for Jeff Napier here. Looks like he has smashed it dab into the wall protection or into those water barriers down there. We'll take a look at the PTM replay. Looked like he might have overdrove it into the corner there. We had a camera on him at point of impact. Let's take a look at it. Oh, you can see right there. He overshot that corner. With that front of the nose gone and the car just completely tore up a little bit, he had nowhere he could go. Although I'm not really sure what the heck transpired there with that 40. I'm presuming he wasn't too thrilled with how the car was going. Otherwise, he might have lost power steering. Let's take a look at this one. Watch right here. Yep, he smashed dab in the wall. Now, I'm trying to take a look, see if he did lose power steering here. I would say probably more than anything, yeah, I think he may have been just a little bit more upset than anything else. That's a tough break there for Jeff. I know he definitely had a little bit of a faster car in practice. Watched him really time himself around the track, and he seemed like he was getting things down. So that's a tough break to see him go out like that. We'll see him 2 weeks from now, hopefully, and maybe he'll be able to bring something back to life here. David Brown still, oh, you can see he is doing everything he can to keep away from Neil Quick. Every point counts for him today. He needs a solid points day and a solid points get. By the way, Smith has already got a 5-second lead ahead of Kevin McCann. Kevin was not able to hang tough with the 1. A little bit of a heated battle going on back here. Currently the battle raging on for the 9th spot. Cody Harker, oh my, dive bombed him right into that turn. Harger definitely did not give anything up to Vincent except for there. He actually backs off, lets the 15 back on by him. He's not going to play that game there. Good respect and good sportsmanship by the 66, but I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't give him anything. I'd have gone back on that throttle as hard as I could there. He always apologized about it later by just getting a few beers out and just having a good time after the race. When you're on the track, though, there's no holding back. You go there, it's all do or die for anyone that wants to win these races. But Harger definitely does not play that game, and I think he got kind of his wish to try that again. Got a better corner there than turn 12 to turn 13 than Vincent. And Short now lost everything around that spot, around that turn here. And a heated brigade still going on down here between these two drivers, Chris Mefford and Neil Quick, while Kyle Pengraff kind of lays behind watching this one battle out. We'll be down to the final 5 laps here as Aaron Smith will cross the finish line here, finish line with 5 to go. Talk about an absolute clinic of a battle here. Every single driver had a story to tell today, whether it had been they raced hard from the step 1, or they just decided to kind of go full-on haymaker down here. There was always something crazy going on, something to really see. Neil Quick's currently, he's had pretty much the season of his career without a doubt. But he knows there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more at stake than just a points race and a points battle. A championship lays in the balance and lays in the hands, but in order to take it, he's first got to find a way to knock down that tough as nails, tough to beat, Mr. Number 1 of Aaron Smith. Man, this has been kind of crazy here. Looks like some more trouble down there. Looks like Chris Wally having some problems. Chris Mefford actually tangled. Oh, Chris Mefford actually really tangled up down there. What the heck happened here in turn number 1? Mefford tangled up there. I'm not sure if there was contact made or if he just overdrove the corner there. We had a camera from our shop cam here, the little high tower. Oh, you can watch that there. You saw he was already loose and spinning it there. This is what I told you guys earlier. Once you get loose and you start spinning these things, you can't really control them to save it. And that's what happened in the 46. He just drove it in hard, and the car literally steered away and then steered out, and then sent him to the shadow rim was what it did. And oh boy, it got a good chunk of it there. Just an errant mistake, and you wouldn't think that was a mistake, but once you see that rear end slide out, watch how hard he turns that thing in, but the rear end just completely sends him spiraling out of control. There was absolutely nothing he could do. And it doesn't matter how hard he slammed that brake, that car was not coming back. Wow. That's a tough get and a tough situation there, unfortunately. For Mefford, that's going to definitely put him back a few positions. That's going to hurt his chances to maybe make a run for that top 5 spot. But yeah, one thing I said before, you just never know what to expect or what to really go out with. And this has still been crazy to me to see a guy by the name of David E. Brown literally 15 spots up and challenging this entire field. It seems like these road courses are his playing ground, and they're his playing in his yard. William McDaniel saying, hey there, hey William, how you doing, bud? Good to have you on board for the last part of this race, sir. Got it right to the ends. Chris Wall here backs off, lets David Brown round him here. Smith charging up though. Final 2 laps now to go. I mean, this is definitely probably one of the quickest races we've had here from the Spartan Logistics Management LLC IROC iRacing Challenge Series. And it has been a fun one, to say the least. Guys going hard, guys firing quick. That's the kind of racing we like to see. They'll have time to kind of recoup from this one, get their cars settled up a little bit and fixed up. As next week we'll have an off week. We have a couple off weeks there with this season, this driver track. Look at some of the other drivers right now, just kind of trying to finish this one out, trying to hopefully keep their head held high and keep themselves at least in line for another race around about here in due time. For the number 1 though of Aaron Smith, he'll lead it down to the final set of corners here. Oh, look out though, there's a car stopped right in front of him, one of them being David Tremblay in the 96. Smith managing to make his way around though. Came out clean, came out unscathed. As the white flag now flies high, we've got 1 lap to go. Presented in part by Track Time Entertainment. Smith has just been, to say the least, lights out. He was your Track Time Entertainment pole setter. He was the guy that everybody wanted to try to knock down, try to take out at the beginning. And despite their efforts from Brian and Kevin McCann, there was just absolutely no stopping what this man brought to the table and what he'd bring out on the track. He just needs to keep punching just one more set of corners up. He's got the first half, now he needs the second set. Wheels it down the end zone from 9, 10, and 11 up to turn number 12, just right straight ahead of him. Into turn 11 now. One more major turn to go, and then it's off to the right. It's off to victory lane for this man. Auto turn number 12. There it is, and then lines it up down to turn number 13. The number 1 will be number 1 in this one. He is your winner, Aaron Smith. And the defending champion continues his hot streak in embezzlement. And looks like Brian McCann decided to have a little fun there before he crosses for third. Kevin takes second, and third will go to that number 3 as he now brings it right across the finish line. A solid effort by all drivers tonight, but there was just absolutely no denying what this man was going to do. He is your race winner at Sonoma, the defending champion. Continues his hot streak. Some pretty good burnouts here to finish this one out. Let's take a look at the results. Aaron Smith walks away with a W. Second goes to Kevin McCann. Third to Brian McCann. Fourth to David E. Brown. Fifth to Neil Quick. Sixth to Tim Schofield. Seventh to Chris Meffert. Eighth to David Tremblay. Ninth to Cody Harger. And 10th we'll round out with Vincent Short in the top 10 That's your solid finishers there. We'll take a look at the other finishers as well here, kind of rolling through the list of top 22 drivers we had with us tonight as we get ready to bring into the field and onto the track your finishers here today. Let's start it off though with your third place finisher here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brian McCann here, your third place driver and also piloting number 3. Brian, congratulations on that third place finisher, sir. This one at Sonoma was all about timing and control, and you definitely had the control out and the timing done right, but it seemed as though the speed was not quite as much as you think it should have been. What was the reasoning for that?
I don't want to come up with excuses, but Aaron was really quick. Kevin was really quick. For the points though, I was racing Neil and Chris. So once Aaron and Kevin kind of took off, and I knew that it wasn't really, didn't have anything for him. I just started kind of, running my own pace and just staying in third there.
For sure there. Now, I'm going to ask you this kind of as well. When you had kind of the final lap coming up, you actually decided to take down at some of the cones. Was that just a little bit of fun for you, or were you just kind of getting a little frustration now on those cones just for earlier?
Nah, the people watching me on my stream were talking about how I hit those cones, and they were seeing if I can get all 4 of them, but I can only get all 3.
That sure explains a lot. Well, all right. Well, Brian, nevertheless, though, a solid performance and a big congratulations to you and your crew. So let's ask this real quick. Who do you want to thank here for this finish?
My wife, family, everybody watching, everybody that helps put this show on, all the sponsors, broadcasters, Wally and everybody else that helps him put on everything behind the scenes. Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, you are our third place finisher here tonight, and another solid day in the points will help you further as we get to the All-Star race and the championship race to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian McCann coming away third here tonight. Now time to talk here with Kevin McCann if he's going to join us here. He may be a little bit busy down with the stream right now. He currently is a busy man, so we'll go ahead and throw him up the second place overlay finisher until we may hear otherwise. We have Smith on the line ready to go. He didn't want to stay in victory lane too long. He wanted to get down here and talk with us here, so I guess there's no point in waiting any longer. Let's get it down here and showcase your race winner here today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Aaron Smith, the winner here at Sonoma. Aaron, first off, congratulations, sir. What a day. Second off, where the heck did you find the speed to just completely lap like almost the entire field? You had literally made no mistakes, it seemed like, except for maybe a slight little corner entries and exits. That's the only thing I could have seen that even Kevin had anything to kind of say at you there.
Yeah, I'm not sure where it came from, to be honest with you. I've never really liked Sonoma, and I haven't really done much road course racing in these cars yet, but be top of the practice charts, or not the practice charts, so second in practice and first in qualifying, and able to lap most of the field and bring home the W. Certainly didn't expect it, but I'm happy with it.
Nothing to expect, but yet at the same time, the fact that it worked out perfectly in your favor, you think maybe a little bit had to kind of deal with this car itself, or maybe the way the steering was kind of played in for the track here?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. As a road racing car, it's pretty good, but as a stock car, it doesn't have any personality at all. It felt like sliding a piece of plywood on a hardwood floor. It just doesn't have any real characteristics to make it different from any other car.
Well, I'm glad somebody finally agrees with me when I said these things like have no true feel to them, but at least they have some speed to them. Well, nevertheless, Aaron, though, man, what a surprise performance, and a congratulations to you there. So let's ask you this. Who do you want to thank for this race win?
I'd like to thank all the folks at the IROC Challenge for putting this show on, as well as all the lap cars who got out of the way. They were pretty nice about it there, and you've broadcasted, and all the folks for watching. Looking forward to getting back at it next week.
Well, it'll be a couple weeks from now. We've got an off week next week, but we will see you back. Phoenix Raceway lays and wait for you guys. Best of luck there, and congratulations here at Sonoma.
All right, thank you.
Aaron Smith, ladies and gentlemen, is your race winner tonight. What a performance and what a show from all drivers and all walks here. Looks like Kevin will not be joining us here for a top 3 interview, but we'll give him until we finish this one out here with Spartan Logistics Management LLC. R&R Racewear, the official web store and merchandise site for iRacing and the IROC Challenge Series. Loud Pedal Gaming TV, smashing the loud pedal for your viewing entertainment. And SimSpeedShop.com. Track Time Entertainment, And at last, of course, our friends over at 5-Star Graphics. A big thank you from us here at PTM Racing TV as well from everyone around the league of iRacing IROC Challenge Series. Race fans, this one's going to conclude with really this in mind. We've got next week off, but we have a major race coming up at Phoenix. How will that fare for some of these drivers, and what does it lay in wait? We have no idea. The only thing we can tell you, stay tuned for more. From all of us here at PTM Racing TV, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for the support. Like and follow us up on Facebook. Subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys next time when the green flag flies.